updated every 5 years. We're not at that point. So by rezoning and setting a precedent, even though Mr. Lerner has done an amazing job, putting the cart before the horse. Until we get this comprehensive plan, we need to just slow down. Because right now, we can't say that we, in good conscience, made this decision based on a comprehensive plan, because the comprehensive plan does not exist. And it won't exist for another 6 months. So we need to wait to make these decisions. Because by making these decisions, you are setting a precedent, which is, per our guidelines, telling us that we have to take into consideration the comprehensive plan. We can't make these decisions without it. So we have this whole section. Section 5 under 1.2.01. You need to read it because it says the streets, public streets, are everybody's issues to the zoning. Not public, not county, not state. That the streets must be taken care of before commissions.
Lisa McAdams.
May I ask a question for Tommy Holcomb?
You talk to the mayor and council.
Okay.
Yeah, what we do here is we take your information. If it's something you want us to call you back on, we'll call you back. If we answer your question, we gotta answer everybody's question.
Okay. All right, well, the question is, and you don't have to answer it, but if the 15.4 acres on Couch Lane in McAllister stays in the county, how many apartments or homes would be allowed? And because we have been told by city council and I think Tommy Holcomb that if left in the county, anything can happen. They can do whatever they want to. Well, I thought something was kind of off, so I called Chris Brent, the director of planning for Pickens County. I told him the concerns of the residents of Easley and asked him if he could shed some light on this proposed development. He told me that 8 units, 8 apartments per acre could be permitted in the county. That would be a maximum of 123 apartments. So if you do the math, 15.4 acres times 8 is 123. So a few days later, I ran into Mario Petro, I'm not sure of the pronunciation. He's on our planning commission in Easley, and I asked him if he was aware of the 8 apartments per acre. He said it was 14 or 16, but that I could find it on the Pickens County website. So I went to the website and I went to the developmental standard ordinances, and under Article 3, 314C, it clearly says, density of an apartment or condominium development shall not exceed 8 units per acre. So if left in the county, there's no way Mr. Lerner is going to be able to have his 224 apartments. You know, that is not going to happen. There's one exception. When a property and development is served and has access to a 4-lane divided road. So we're talking about Highway 123 or 153. That is the only way in the county that they would allow an apartment complex with this magnitude. So that really makes a lot of sense. When that ordinance was written, it was made to ensure safe traffic control and to prevent congestion of our public streets. Everyone in this room is concerned about this proposed development, especially those of us who live on Couch Lane in McAllister. We are not against growth in our city, but we do expect a responsible growth plan. All of you are elected officials other than Mr. Holcomb, and we elected you to put the citizens first and foremost.
Amen.
The- Jeff Cooper.
Mayor and council, I'm here again, and I'm asking for the same thing. I think you've heard it from a lot of citizens already, but I heard last time we were in council that growth was not a reason for a moratorium. So I also did some research and went to the state statute, and that's the first thing in the state statute that says a moratorium can be imposed for is out of control growth. And if we don't have out of control growth here in Easley, I don't know what the definition of out of control growth is. Also, Pendleton has just implemented a moratorium on high-density building. They're telling us, and read it in the paper, it's out of control. And Jerry, I don't know how many people, you just hired one, but I don't know how in the world you could possibly keep up with all this, Jerry. Jerry's wide open school for second most of the time. Good man, knows his stuff. But how in the world can you expect the building codes to keep up with growth at this rapid pace? Something's gonna fall on the wayside. Also check the state statutes and also check with Robert's Rule of Order. Robert's Rule of Order says that if there's a motion from the floor or a moratorium and ask for a change in the agenda which was published, that can happen. That can happen tonight. So I'm asking somebody on the council to bring forth a motion to amend the agenda so that you can vote tonight on a moratorium for high-density construction. It can be done, okay? Another thing I'm concerned about, you're not gonna pick up grass clippings. You're not gonna, you stop recycling. I don't know where this is gonna stop, but, that's something that concerns us, is we're getting less and less services for our tax money. And that's got to stop. Okay? It's almost like this, and I'll sit down, it's almost like y'all get together and decide, what can we really do to piss people off? So far, it's been very, very successful.
Sammy Grant.
Mayor, council, my name is Sammy Grant, I'm in Middle Creek. I just want to touch on what Jeff has said here tonight about a moratorium. Right now, the growth is really not that explosive, but if left under control, you're going to have a nightmare on your hands.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. We've already got about 3 bridges in the city limits. It's already got weight limits imposed on. What's going to happen when all these big trucks start crossing these things, which some of them are already doing now.
Yes.
And I'd just like to ask the council, please consider putting forth the moratorium. You can decide the start and the end date, but, we can't sit here and put our heads in the sand and say that Easley is not going to grow. We all know that. But for goodness sakes, people, open your eyes and take a ride around town.
Amen.
And I know, when Easley gets full, this is filtered on down 123 to Liberty. All right, when that gets full, it's going up 178 to Pickens, it's going to Funkytown, it's going to Davisville. I mean, it's going to happen. There's no holding it back. But for the citizens of Easley, please, council, please, consider a moratorium. Till you have a plan for this city's growth, plan it out, and a path forward. And to touch on what Jeff said, the grass clippings that are going to be phased out, say you have got a 80, 90-year-old woman. Well, there's not many of them capable of cutting their own grass. All right, say the neighbor over here. Hey, Miss Jones, I'll cut your grass. Okay. He cuts the grass. He's got no means to You know, he doesn't have a lawn care company to come by and cut his grass and haul his clippings off. So what's he gonna do with Miss Jones' clippings? Where's he gonna put his? How are they going to be disposed of? And I think there is a recyclable type paper bag that can be used to put these clippings in, that the city consider picking that up. That might be an option for helping the citizens. But you can't just, I mean, what are we gonna do? Kick it out in the road? That's gonna cause a wreck. What are we gonna do? Burn it? No, you won't let us do that. So, you know, something's gotta be done. How we do it? Oh, man, I'm doing good. All right, thank you, council.
Kevin Kane.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thanks for your time tonight. Two things before I get started on the other part. One, in defense of the city council, if you see a road with 2 yellow lines on it, the city doesn't have any control of it. They can't pave it, they can't do anything to it. That is a state or a county highway. So if you want to fuss about that, call Pickens and call Columbia. I agree with you 100%. Second thing is the thing about grass clippings. If you think you've got an issue with stormwater runoff now, wait till you stop picking up grass clippings and all that stuff's flowing out into the area. All right. Obviously, I'm not here as a cheerleader for the apartment complex or any other multifamily development in town right now. This is a document that I got from the city, and it has a list of all the developments that are either underway or in permitting / approval progress in the city right now. The yellow is potential mixed use. That's yellow. I know it's really small, but yellow is potential mixed use. Green's commercial. Blue is residential. The orange is zoning or annexation required. Okay. Over here in this column, it's got population impact. And this population impact total is 6,035 people. That is a 28.2% growth in Easley. That is what's on the books now. That's not what's coming that we don't know about in a month or 6 months or a year. That is 6,000 people now. Okay? We don't have the ability to handle the traffic, the services for this many people. Mr. Cooper, I believe it is? No.
Yes.
Mr. Adams had great points. Moratorium. Moratorium is the word of the day. This meeting was brought to you by the word moratorium. I'm not against growth, but I sent an email to Kent and to Brian and to 2 county council members that I know. We need to stop and figure out a plan, because if we don't come up with a plan, somebody much smarter than me had a saying that said you can either plan for growth or you can get run over.
Right.
We are getting run over by it because we don't have a plan. Okay? Stop now. Work with the city. When you work with the city, you need to work with the county. The county needs to work with the city, and we need to work with anybody else that's got a finger in this recipe that we're making before we burn the cake. Okay? We need a plan. We need it. It's not going to be overnight. So moratorium is the word of the day.
Denise Davidson. Good evening. I want to thank the city council members and the mayor and everyone here. When you were sworn into office, you took an oath. And the last part of that oath reads, as mayor or council member of the city of Easley, I will equally, fairly, and impartially, to the best of my ability, and skill, exercise the trust placed in me, and will use my best endeavors to preserve the peace and carry into effect, according to law, the purposes for which I've been elected, so help me God. Ordinances are mandates. They're canons, they're regulations to be followed. Our zoning ordinances read that the comprehensive plan has been adopted to guide direct growth and the development of Easley. As you can see, many of us have gathered data about all of these projects. This moratorium that is being requested tonight could be for a number of reasons. The start date could be June 14th, 2021. Make the end date 6 months, 9 months, a year. But the purpose, well, let me go back to the reason. You have, from this residential chart, 2,673 units, residential units scheduled, with the population impact of what Kevin already mentioned. We do not have a city administrator. An interim is not the same. And we have no comprehensive plan, which is essential and is a component of the ordinances. So you, the city, however, we're not pointing fingers. We're not trying to do the us versus them, but we're asking for our elected officials to represent us, represent the city that they took an oath to represent. We're respectfully requesting this pause, get a plan, a comprehensive plan, and then you can proceed. And we can proceed effectively, efficiently. There's services, there are roads, there are schools, there are emergency vehicles, there's personnel that need to be hired, health services, etc., that will be impacted. City officials, and I kind of agree with Kevin, that they're not responsible, but y'all can make calls to the state, to your representatives. Okay. If you need us to do something, let us know. We want to work with you together.
Yes.
This is not
Vern Dupree.
My name is Vern Dupree. I work with NAIRO firm in Greenville. I'm here in support of Mitchell Lerner, my friend, and in support of responsible multifamily development. I work in multifamily and have the past 15 years in management, development, brokerage, and I have seen the good and bad. My personal concern in any community with a moratorium or with a policy of no more or overbuild is that it highly affects affordability and responsible growth in the community. There are a lot of tools available out there to address a lot of the solutions, to address a lot of solutions to a lot of the problems that are being brought up, which are serious concerns. But in my business, we talk to investors from all over the country. You guys have an incredibly beautiful community here. I've done business here. You have great people here, and people want to come here. And responsible multifamily development, housing is crucially important to the affordability to bring new businesses in a responsible way. Some communities that have gotten moratoriums have not done so well throughout the Southeast. And I know that's not a popular opinion, but I see communities all over the Southeast. I would just highly encourage the council, if you've got a gentleman who's willing to work with you to be open and encourage responsible development through working with developers who will listen to the concerns of the community, which I think several of you have mentioned that Mr. Lerner has, and that has been my experience working with him as well. I'm happy to provide anyone outside of this meeting any of the resources that I'm aware of that talk about multifamily and its effect. Less supply of when more people are moving in here is going to create a serious affordability problem. We've seen that in many communities. I know that there's serious traffic concerns, but I would highly encourage the council, just my professional opinion, to continue to work with great developers who are responsive, who will listen to this council and the community to build good communities in the area. I appreciate the time that you guys have given me. I love y'all's community here. You guys have a wonderful place, and I appreciate the time to let me speak.
Karen Orzak. I'm not sure if I said your last name, but
hello, I'm Karen Orzak, Washington Home First. I'm not into politics, so this is my first city council meeting. But I felt a pull in my heart to speak out because I do support this development. I am the property manager at Glenbrook Apartment Homes on Rock Springs Road. I've managed Glenbrook since we were in the construction phase in 2014. And before joining Glenbrook, I was the property manager in Greenville of a 232-unit community for several years in the city. I grew up in Easley. Actually, I grew up in Davisville, and I moved to Easley, so I've lived here my whole life. My parents have been here pretty much their whole lives, too. So I hear what everyone's saying, and I hear it. I wrote this, but I feel like I just need to speak from my heart. I made a decision to come back to Easley and to work for this company because it is unlike any other developer I've ever worked for. We care about our people. And some people don't live in houses. Some people live in apartments. That's just the way it is. And we have people who are retired who sell their houses here to move to Glenbrook. People who are just starting out, who are teachers, who haven't established enough to build a house. And I'm going to read a little bit of water. I feel like Glenbrook's been so successful. We've had a wait list since 2014. And the success really does come from the genuine connection and concern and care that we have for our residents. I love them. Our company loves them. And I have to say, Mitchell Lerner knows all of our residents. You can't say that about any other developer. We care, and we care about our neighbors. We care about Jack Miller, Alan Quinn, Pastor Gallimore. We have great relationships with them. We have fenced-in landscaping. We do that because we want everyone around us to be happy. We go above and beyond. And we just recently sent out a survey, just because I wanted some feedback, and I was really questioning some things, and I wanted to see, do you love management, do you love maintenance? 74 out of 84 residents responded. And it was pretty amazing. And one thing that really stuck out is 74 out of all of them, when we asked if they would refer our community to a family member or a friend, enthusiastically, every single one said absolutely yes. We love this community. We are a community too. We are a community. We have wonderful residents that live there. A lot of them are aging out of our community and they don't want to leave. So they're staying there even if they're on the second floor because they trust us. And they trusted the management of the community and what we do to keep it up. The Couch Lane property, it will provide accessibility through elevators. It will have nice amenities for everyone of all ages and the same level of professionalism and care that we offer at Glenbrook. Easley is growing. It's going to happen. And why not grow with proven development that's quality? Okay, thank you for your opportunity.
Brittany Ziegler.
Hello, good evening. My name is Brittany Ziegler. I am going to read because I'm not great at public speaking. But I actually am the manager of Brookfall 1 and 2 apartments. There's 148 apartments between both of those. Until a year ago, I managed 400 apartments. I'm typically an observer, so I haven't gotten up and spoken before. But I've sat back and I've listened, and I feel like I need to speak on some of these things. One thing in particular is the concern with Brookfall 1 apartments. As the manager, I can tell you that in the past year, we have invested not only countless dollars, but countless hours in improvements on the inside and the outside of the apartments. I know that people have commented what they have heard about them, but I would invite anybody to come see them now, because we have invested, like I said, countless dollars and countless hours on this. I have worked for Mitchell since 2015, and what I know is that he is truly invested in the well-being of the residents and the Easley community, and he employs people who share the same interests as that. This is not just a job that we all walk away from each day. It's something we all care about and want to see be successful. I can assure you that the new development would receive the same passion and care as well. I would like to point out that our management group is very strict about our approval process. We do background checks on every single person that wishes to live in our apartments, and we strictly enforce a 30-page legal agreement. There are simply people who want to live in an apartment instead of a house, and I think they deserve to have an option, to have choices within the community to live there instead of single-family homes, instead of sending them outside of the community to spend their money somewhere else. The bottom line is that Easley's growing and the land's going to be developed. So I think it would be wise for Easley to choose a developer who builds properties that this community can take pride in. One who builds with the intention of consistently investing into this community responsibly, rather than have one that builds and moves on. Why do we want to send people and their money outside of our community when we have a developer who's willing to provide the lifestyle for them here and spend their money here? That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maureen.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council, for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Nancy Mulvaney, and I live at 320 Long Beach Terrace, Easley. Been here for 46 years. I've got only 2 items. I won't go over the ones I did before because they've been gone over already about the traffic. But I was wondering if the city had a plan for parking downtown. I understand you're enticing businesses to move to downtown, restaurants particularly. We've got several new ones there. A few weeks ago, my husband and I tried to go and get pizza at the new pizza place. There wasn't any place to park. I went in the back there behind Blue Voodoo. My husband's somewhat handicapped, and there was only 2 handicap spots. There's no handicap spots, hardly at all, in downtown Easley. Market Square was too far for him to have to walk. He can walk with a cane, but that was pretty far. Wondered if you'd consider buying up some land and making a multi-level parking area. For all these people who want to come here, they have no place to put their cars, and I can't get on a bicycle and take him with me on a bicycle. But, so I don't have that option. There are some people that can ride their bicycle downtown if they want. But I would like you to put that on your agenda somewhere. Also, those grass clippings, my neighbors are going to put them on my lot where it's all wooded, because they already put brush there. Now, the city does pick that up. And I checked on that because I wanted to make sure that they were going to do that. I said, I didn't put that there. My neighbors do. You know what's going to happen to the grass clippings if they put them where they put the brush? It's going to wash into that creek. The creek's going to fill up, and it's going to back up to the houses on the other side of the creek. So it happened many, many years ago when I first moved here. We had a little pond behind the people that lived across the street on the corner. And so I'm just warning you now, if they grass clippings come over and they